Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning, DJ Envy, Charlamagne the God. How y'all feeling?
Good.
Blessed, black, and highly favored. How you feeling, Morgan?
I'm feeling good, but I am tired, tariff, okay? Let's get into it. I know you was talking about it before the break, Envy, or before the song, Envy. So President Trump's tariffs on steel and aluminum are getting responses from Europe and Canada. The tariffs are 25% on metals that come into the U.S., and that's from any country in the world, including our allies. Imagine that. So it's expected to raise the cost for U.S. automakers and other industries, although the move is supported by many American steel and aluminum manufacturers. Now, meanwhile, the European Union announced it will impose counter tariffs on U.S. goods worth $28 billion. Canada also announced it will put 25% reciprocal tariffs on around $20 billion of all American goods. So let's just say that we stand to spend a lot more in the coming days. So this comes...
Yeah, America, this is not what we voted for either, by the way. Folks voted for Trump because he said he was going to improve the economy immediately. Mm-hmm. That is not happening.
Well, he said, don't forget about those eggs that have dropped.
Well, you know what's so funny? Last week when I was on my Brilliant Idiots podcast, I was talking about how come everyone is so focused on eggs, because Trump said he won the election with one word, which was groceries.
Right.
So now he's saying the cost of eggs is down. But what about everything else? But that's what happens when they get us focusing on one thing.
No, facts, because I don't even eat eggs whole time. But let's get into it. This comes as President Trump says the European Union has treated the U.S. badly for years. He commented on the new tariffs announced by the EU while meeting with Ireland's Prime Minister in the Oval Office yesterday, saying the EU was set up to take advantage of the United States. Trump said past leaders have put America in a bad spot. So let's hear more from President Trump in regards to those.
I'm not knocking it. They're doing what they should be doing, perhaps, for the European Union, but it does create ill will. And as you know, we're going to be doing reciprocal tariffs. So whatever they charge us, we're charging them. Nobody can complain about that. Whatever it is, it doesn't even matter what it is. If they charge us 25 or 20% or 10% or 2% or 200%, then that's what we're charging them. And so I don't know why people get upset about that, because there's nothing more fair than that.
Thoughts?
The United States leaders. My thoughts are the United States leaders are putting Americans in a bad spot. I know they love to get us to look at everybody else, but those firing all those federal workers, that's America doing that. These tariffs Trump is implementing, that's America doing that. So, I know we can want to point the fingers at other leaders, but our leaders are putting us in a very bad spot right now economically.
Are we talking leaders with a plural? Okay, hold on. In other news, but relative, a stopgap funding bill is headed to the Senate with its fate uncertain as Friday's deadline to avoid government shutdown looms. Now, Democratic Congressman Tom Suozzi voted against the bill, saying it's not smart to further empower the efforts of DOJ, despite the fact that Republicans are happy with the results. He slammed Republicans, saying they have yet to come to the negotiating table. Can we hear more from Tom Suozzi?
The bottom line is, if you want to get a deal done, you have to negotiate. And there's been no negotiation whatsoever. This has been a my way or the highway deal since the very beginning. The bottom line is, the Republicans control the presidency, they control the Senate, and they control the House. They're in charge. They're running the whole thing. This is on them. And there's going to be a lot of finger pointing back and forth. But if you want to get a deal done where you need the other side's votes, you have to negotiate.
That's sad. And the president said the same thing when it came to, these wars, in terms of ending these wars going on, whether it be the Ukraine-Russian war or what's going on with Hamas and Israel. He says you got to talk to both sides in order to negotiate. So, hey, the bill narrowly passed the House on Tuesday by a vote of 217 to 213, but all but one Republican supported the 6-month stopgap measure. While Republicans control a slight majority in the Senate, Kentucky's Rand Paul, he said he stands firmly against the bill. Now, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says Democrats have the votes that they need to block the Republican spending bill. So we will see what happens today. Hopefully today they can come to some sort of an agreement. And speaking of Chuck Schumer, President Trump called him a Palestinian. I'll get more into that at the 7 o'clock hour, but it's getting real petty. Real petty on Capitol.
What you mean getting?
It's been
I guess since 2016.
All right.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get back at some front page news. What's up, Morgan?
Yeah, what's up, NV, Charlamagne, Jess, y'all good?
Peace, Morgan.
Yep.
All right, so look, if you missed it in the 6 o'clock hour, we were talking briefly about how President Trump called Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer a Palestinian. That's real rich considering that Schumer is Jewish. So yeah, he went after the Senate Minority Leader during his Oval Office meeting yesterday with Ireland's Prime Minister. And Trump called, yes, the first Jewish Senate leader in U.S. history a Palestinian. Let's hear that audio.
And Schumer is a Palestinian as far as I'm concerned. You know, he's become a Palestinian. He used to be Jewish. He's not Jewish anymore. He's a Palestinian.
Yeah, so Trump's comment comes as he was criticizing Democrats regarding, you know, of course, everything, the bill and everything, just everything. Schumer has been critical of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And during a rally last summer, Trump called Schumer a proud member of Hamas. So, you know, that's not cool, but, you know, that's our president. Meanwhile, New Yorkers should listen up. Okay, border czar Tom Homan. He has issued a warning to New York Governor Kathy Hochul that ICE agents could soon flood New York if she doesn't cooperate with the federal immigration crackdown. Homan was in Albany on Wednesday, meeting with GOP lawmakers when he issued the warning during a news conference. Let's hear more from border czar Tom Homan.
Sanctuary cities are going to get exactly what they don't want. More agents in the community and more collateral arrests because you have forced us in the community because you failed to let us into jail.
So Homan went on to criticize New York Governor Kathy Hochul's immigrant-friendly policies, but had nothing but praise for New York City Mayor Eric Adams for, quote, working with the Trump administration on rounding up illegals who commit crimes. What do you guys think? This is going to impact a lot of the listeners.
I mean, if there are illegals that commit crimes, I have no problem with ICE doing their job. If they're illegals that are committing crimes.
So would you consider being here, you know, not necessarily having your papers a crime? Are you talking violent offenders, or are we just talking
just people just
being here illegally?
If they're here illegally, if they're here illegally, they're here illegally. Here's the thing: we're acting like this hasn't happened in America before. We do know.
We're acting like the system isn't backed up. I mean, you could be a citizen and the system is backed up. I mean, let's look at what's going on with this.
But you didn't say a citizen though. You said somebody who's here illegally.
Right. Okay.
So you're conflating the two. If you're a citizen, you're a citizen. If you're here illegally, you're here illegally. I don't know what to tell people.
All right. Well, you know, this comes as the federal judge is ruling that a pro-Palestinian Columbia University activist will remain jailed in Louisiana following yesterday's deportation hearing in New York. Now, remember, Mahmoud Khalil, he is a green card holding citizen. He also had a student visa. Manhattan federal judge Jesse Furman has ruled that Mahmoud Khalil will remain held in Louisiana while he fights or weighs further arguments in the deportation case. Now, again, as mentioned before, he is a green card holder. He was arrested at his Columbia-owned apartment on Saturday night by ICE agents. The White House says his pro-Palestinian activism was anti-Semitic and pro-Hamas. His lawyers plan to file a new petition to free him, while federal prosecutors are filing papers arguing the case should be moved out of New York. Now, look at this particular case. You know, Charlamagne. This is just he's a green card holding citizen in the sense, or they have actually since revoked that card, but he's in trouble for simply protesting.
I've been saying it all week. That's the story everybody should care about. Like I've been saying it all week. He has a green card. He should be able to protest. He should have freedom of speech. I may not agree with even if I don't agree with what he's saying, I agree with his right to say it.
As long as he didn't break the laws, he should be fine.
But when you're saying people are here illegally, that's different. If you say somebody's here illegally, and they're committing crimes, that's a different conversation than somebody who is an actual citizen who has a green card.
What about illegally impending? You know, you waiting on this, you waiting on that. That's where I was getting at when I'm saying the system is backed up.
So when you say pending, you mean like they just ain't get their shit yet? I mean, they haven't get their card yet.
Yeah, they haven't got their card yet. They're going through the process. They're trying to, in the midst of them going through the process, you have all these crackdowns going on. I mean, you could try to go to the grocery store and get pulled up on by ICE. I mean, who knows?
I don't know how that works. Is it like when you first get a car and you don't have your license plate and everything yet, but they give you something?
You got to fill out certain documents, and documents got to be stamped.
I don't know how that works.
You're waiting for your passport. Like if you go and you waiting for a passport, but everything backed up.
But what somebody else would say too, if you're in another country and your documentation is expired, they're going to deport you as well. If you're in another country and you don't have the right documentation and you get stopped and you get pulled over, they're going to send you out of there.
Yeah, I mean, we're acting like ICE hasn't always existed in some capacity and ICE hasn't always been doing things like this. You know what I mean?
No, for sure. But then also things change with different administrations. You know, you have refugee programs. There's all different types of things. Whereas now this administration is like cracking down. Hey, just basically, if you're here, like you said, illegally, you got to go. Right. All right, guys, let's move on from this topic. But Colorado Congresswoman Lauren Boebert is being criticized for her comments about black congressmen, the black congressman who disrupted President Trump's speech last week, Representative Al Green. Well, she referred to the Texas representative saying he was shaking his pimp cane at the president during a segment on a conservative cable network, Real America's Voice News, last Friday. Let's hear those comments from Lauren Boebert. Pimp cane.
For him to go and shake his pimp cane at President Trump was absolutely abhorrent.
So the Democratic Congresswoman Chrissy Houlihan from Pennsylvania has since introduced a resolution to have Colorado's Boebert censured. You remember Al Green was censured in the House last week after he was removed from the House chamber during that March 4th speech. Green had stood up shouting while waving his walking cane, not pimp cane. And Houlihan says Boebert's comments were racist and derogatory. What do you guys think?
It's crazy.
I think everybody need to start conserving their energy, man, and pick your battles. I mean, there's so many things that we should be going at right now.
It starts getting disrespectful when you say the brother got a pimp cane. It is a walking cane. Like what would he say? Only a hoe would know what a pimp cane look like. Like
crazy.
It's crazy. Like they got to stop disrespecting people.
Now. I've heard way worse things said, you know what I mean, than that is all I'm saying. You know, though, Mark, you make me do want to have somebody up here who's an expert on deportations and immigration. Because I just, you know, like I said, we're all up in arms now about ICE saying they want to deport illegals. You know, Obama deported a record over 400,000 unauthorized immigrants in 2013. They used to call Obama the deporter in chief. So I wonder what he was doing differently. That's all. I just want to know.
No, sure. No, for sure. No,
you know, we like to pick and choose what we get outraged over based on, you know, who does it. Yeah, so I just want to know, you know, when they talked about the record high of deportation of immigrants in 2013 that President Obama did, I just wonder, you know, what was the status of those people, you know?
Right. No, for sure. We should all understand. We should all come to understand exactly what's going on in our country. And moving on to my last story, I think this is very important. It's something that's going to impact all of us. I think this legislation, I know that this legislation has already been proposed and implemented on the state level for multiple states. But Democrats on Capitol Hill are now reintroducing the Crown Act in an effort to stop hair discrimination on a federal level. So representatives from New York, New Jersey, Wisconsin, and Florida convened to hold a press conference about the legislation. Representative Bonnie Watson-Coleman made the announcement on House Triangle, and I actually have audio from, I believe, Congressman Maxwell Frost.
Black women with coiled or textured hair are more likely to be deemed unprofessional, face microaggressions in the workplace, or feel pressured to straighten their hair. So it's not just hair. This is about how black women and men are treated.
But let's be clear, nobody should be discriminated against because of the color of their skin, and nobody should be discriminated against because of the texture of their hair. And that hair discrimination is a form of racial discrimination.
Yeah, that was Representative Robin Kelly from New York in the first comment, and of course, Florida Congressman Maxwell Frost on the second comment. So Republican Senator Susan Collins of Maine supports the bill, which Dems hope will give it some motion to the upper chamber. The Crown Act, hair discrimination, what do you guys think about that?
It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't think nobody should be discriminated.
Oh, I guess you can't relate, huh, Charlamagne?
Yeah, people shouldn't be discriminated against because of their hair.
Of course not at all. All right, y'all. Well, that's your front page news. I'm Morgan Wood. Follow me on social at Morgan Media for more news coverage. Follow at Black Information Network. Download the free iHeart Radio app and visit us at BINnews.com. I'll be out for a few days, and my BIN baddies, Bree and Mimi, will be filling in. So y'all hold them down and be nice, okay? Be nice. All right, y'all. Thank you.
Morgan.
Enjoy.
Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.